Tyler's thing is really just like, the advice he's giving me is just keep paying it forward to honor the position.
Yeah.
Honor the position that you've been given, because you can be in my shoes. He said when he went to Oprah's house and saw what Oprah had done and saw the house and whatever, it allowed him to have the provision and the vision to dream big. This industry and this acting industry is fickle. It is difficult, and your heart gotta really be in it if you really want to do this for real. My mom had to do a lot of extra work, a lot of like cleaning the buildings and do a lot just to allow me to even go there, because we didn't have money for the tuition and things of that nature. Bro, I would literally play football and go off in the game and be like the best player on the field. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards. And then I would have to clean the stadium after. My mom. I cry a lot. I watch movies and I start crying and shit. Some of my friends like, hey, you crying? Yes. And I don't care. I played at the University of Arkansas. Now I'm working at Hobby Lobby. Because I'm out the NFL, I don't have no money no more. And at the end of the day, I'm sweeping and right where I used to go to college at. That's the same dude. That's Julian Horton. So even with like diamonds, oh man, you started. This is mornings and nights. This is not real. The grind looked crazy for me. I had to do Uber. You got to be a great human first and get the foundation done first.
Today we have Julian Horton. He's an actor and he stars in one of Netflix's hottest shows, Beauty in Black. Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
It feels amazing. It's a great day. The sun's out. God's great.
God's
and
good.
I'm happy to be with y'all.
So, born in Philly, raised in Atlanta. Tell me how both of those cities shaped you. What did Philly give you, and what did Atlanta teach you?
That is a good question. What did the city of Philadelphia, let's start with Philadelphia because I was born there. My whole family's from there. I think Philadelphia has a sense of grit. It's a blue collar city. And I think just from my family and them all being from there, it's kind of been instilled in me just to have that, blue collar energy and that dog in them. That's why I go so hard just in life, going from different sports, aka football to acting to music, and never really just settling and doing really what I want to do. That's what Philly does. Philly takes life by its horns and they, go make it happen. So I definitely would say that Philly had just shaped me in that way, just of instilling grit and instilling that dog. In Atlanta, where I was raised, I mean, Atlanta is just, I've been here my whole life, basically, besides going to college. And I would say Atlanta is just like, it's kind of the same thing. Atlanta is a little bit more slower, but I definitely think that my identity in the way I am and the people I've been around has shaped me tremendously. And Atlanta's taught me just love, man. There's a lot of hospitality here. You learn, cause you get, Philly's grit, and then you learn the empathy and the hospitality, and you mix that together, and that's not too bad of a combo.
Exactly.
So I would just say that Atlanta is just, it's black, it's beautiful, it's cultured, and it just it gives you a whole mix of different things of that nature. But I would definitely say the love and the hospitality.
And you also spent a little bit of time in Arkansas, as you mentioned, playing football for the Razorbacks. So did you always know that you wanted to be an entertainer, even when you were an athlete, or did you kind of just come across being in entertainment?
I always knew it was going to be, and I say this a lot, and I'm going to keep saying this, there's going to be 3 things. There's going to be sports, music, or acting. I knew those 3 things I wanted to do in my life. Those were the 3 things that really just interested me when I was a kid, and I was good at. So I did plays in high school. I got 4 siblings, so we would make these home videos in the camcorder and make these movies and do all these things. It's just that football took center stage and took the front seat, and it was my way to go to college to earn a education and a scholarship. So my mom didn't have to pay no money. So you play sports for all these years, play football for 17 years. You focus on that, and that's what I was focusing on. But in the back of my mind, I always told myself the 3 things: if football don't work out, we gotta do acting or music, and and that's how it shaped out to be. After football ended, I took a couple of years off because I kind of was just figuring it out and trying to really just see what I really wanted to do. Like I said, acting was a part of the plan, but it was just life
Exactly.
was getting in the way of projection and fear of going to a different sport, because everyone knows me playing football, and it's kind of scary, to go to a different entertainment field. And but like I said, I always knew I wanted to do it. It just took some time to do it, and it's always been the plan.
So how did your family react when you made that shit?
They just want me to succeed.
Yeah.
My mom was kind of, you don't really quit football that day. You want to get better. I'm like, yo, because football is a very, it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful sport. I just think that, politics, the wear and tear on the body, and just kind of falling out of love with the game a little bit. Just, had to make a different decision. And, being that my mom's and the people have supported me for so long, it was kind of an adjustment, not, playing no more, but, my mom's good now. She's fine.
Because I feel like a lot of athletes, they make their sport their whole personality, but you had other endeavors and things that you were good at. So.
Definitely. Because identity crisis is a lot of, it's a thing that a lot of athletes go through, especially when the game is over and you got to transition to something else. I was fortunate, by the grace of God, just, have an idea of what I wanted to do next. I wasn't just out here like, I'm scrambling. No, I wasn't doing that. Kind of understood what I wanted to do, and I did it.
I kind of want to touch on that. Like, what would be your number one piece of advice for somebody who's struggling with identity, even outside of, like, being an athlete? Because some people just, I don't know, they don't know themselves. So.
That is true. It's a lot of things you can tell somebody, because everyone's different. Everyone has their own individual journey. And everyone's different. I say pray. You gotta pray for it. You gotta pray for, just focus and just clarity, and discernment, and just the awareness of, knowing yourself. I would say meditate and really just live. You can't focus too hard on things. You gotta just live and let it come to you. If you become the best version in yourself, usually things work out better, more efficiently, and more smoother. So I would just say pray, and, pray to God about anything. I want to find my purpose. God, find it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And just do it. And that's what I would say. That's what I did. I'm just giving you my advice. Just pray. That's what I would do.
Some people don't take the time to just sit with themselves.
You don't. You got to meditate, and you got to just really really be in love with yourself. I think I'm very in touch with my emotions. I'm in touch with who I am. I know myself. I communicate that to people, and it is what it is. You got to it starts with you, though, for sure.
So let's shift to Beauty in Black. So your character is Roy.
Mm-hmm.
So Roy is a very layered character. He's hurting. He's trying to heal. Yeah. So what part of you had to show up to play him?
All of me. All of me.
Okay. Talk to us
all
about
of
that.
me. Every inch. Huh? Nah. It's just, people ask me that too. Was it hard to play Roy, man? How do you do that? I'm like, everything I've gone through in life, and I've lived a lot. By the grace of God, I've lived a lot of life. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've experienced a lot. So when you do that, that's a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of different frequencies that you touch. So with Roy, being that he is such a layered character, going through tumultuous things, going through high energy things, being that I've gone through a lot in life, good, bad, positive, negative, whatever you want to call it, I was able to bring those experiences to the character to make him well layered and make him more fulfilled and just broad in the way I, chose to do the role and stuff. So at the end of the day, it's just like, I would say I brought everything to the character, because the character is kind of me, and I'm, the character's me and I'm the character, whatever, basically.
You and Crystal Stewart's chemistry is so believable on screen. So, I read that you guys had a heart-to-heart before filming, and I want to know, like, how did the convo shift the way that you approached your scenes with her?
Crystal's amazing. First off, she's dope and one of the best people I've ever met. I think it just made us more comfortable. I think it got us more in tune, and we were just in sync, and especially after knowing each other, knowing the energy that we both shared, knowing that we shared commonalities with personal things. It just allowed us to be more in sync, to trust one another, and to really let loose and have more freedom going into those scenes. I think that since we had that freedom, since we had that understanding, it allowed us to play tennis even better, you know. When you're in an acting scene, you're really playing tennis, going back and forth. And it allowed us to go back and forth efficiently because we understood each other, and it made fire happen. You know, we were able to improv a lot and go crazy because we just trusted each other. And I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna go crazy, and then she would go crazy, and that made for good TV. Yeah, for sure.
So getting the chance to work with Tyler Perry is huge.
Yes.
So has he given you any personal advice, whether it be about life or just acting or anything?
Tyler, he gives great advice. Yeah. Number one, Tyler's thing is really just like the advice he's given me is just keep paying it forward to honor the position. Yeah. Honor the position that you've been given, because you can be in my shoes. He said when he went to Oprah's house and saw what Oprah had done and saw the house and whatever, it allowed him to have the provision and the vision to dream big. That's why his building in the studios is the dream building. It's huge. Because he wants people to dream, and he allows, you know, there's no limits basically, and that's what he tells people. There's no limits of what you can do. If you want to do it, you can do it. Don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in the box. There is literally no limit with God, and that's what he tells me, to dream big. And when I see him do what he's done just for entertainment, for black culture, for people like me who I've been acting for 10 years, you know, and now I'm Julian Horton. It's like, yeah, now I'm getting this stuff. But Tyler, you know, he allowed me to get that. And now with this position that I have, I'm honoring it by paying it forward, doing what I can to create opportunities and funding other things like that. So at the end of the day, it's really just, he's always told me just to dream big and to know that there's no limits to this. Because there is none. Because you have to understand, we're all human beings and we all start, unless you're just a rich person coming up and just like have tons of money, or like you're, you know, like Trump or something who had just tons of money here, whatever, or this person had the Jenners and the Kardashians. We all start at the same playing field, basically. So at the end of the day, we all were broke at one point. We're all going through these things, and I think sometimes with the media and the way we like put people on a pedestal, we act like they didn't go through that shit. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I was messed up before this. Now everyone, oh, Roy, it's just like, so it's like it can change like that. And that goes back to the advice Tyler gives. It's like, you can do this. Because Tyler was messed up at one point. He didn't have a $1 billion home like he has now. He didn't have the $1 billion, I mean, he don't have a $1 billion home, but he didn't have billions and stuff like that. He just worked hard and believed in himself. And he didn't let the projection of other people, the fear of other people stop him. And that's what the advice he's giving me. And that's what I give to other people.
And speaking of, like, you said you were messed up before this. So
yes.
I feel like a lot of people don't know what the grind looks like in between bookings and, you know, gigs. So what's that in between season look like for you mentally?
You talking about now or before?
Both.
Now I can chill a little bit. Thank God. Thank you, Tyler Perry. For sure. Things are not as stressful as it used to be. Now, before, it was different because it was just like, this industry and this acting industry it is fickle, it is difficult, and your heart got to really be in it if you really want to do this for real. Because as we all know, in the acting industry, you're going to hear a lot more no's than your yeses, and there's going to be times where it's dry. We had a whole actor strike in 2023, and I couldn't act for 8 months. So the grind looked crazy for me. I had to do Uber. I had to save more money and you know and not do the things I was doing and wanted to go out and stuff. I just you just have to grind and just keep on praying and hope that it gets better. But yeah, I was grinding. I was doing Uber and stuff. I didn't want to do like a job. I wanted to work for myself. But yeah, I was doing Uber Eats. I was hustling. Yeah. You know, and people would never thought. But I say these things. Yeah. Because I don't give a damn.
You're transparent, and that's what we
very
need
transparent,
in the industry.
And I'm going to be transparent.
Everything is not going to be
forever.
Like exactly. And you're a Sagittarius.
Yes. People need to hear this because people are too scared. Yeah. I'm so scared, and since everyone wants to tiptoe about life, I don't tiptoe. You don't tiptoe. You know, I'm going to live this thing because we only got one of them. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, it was a grind.
So put the people on game. Like, let's really get into it. Talk. So how did you actually get in a room, like in this room with Beauty and Black, and get such a great role? Like, was it agents?
To be honest, it was just the same as all my other auditions, really. It wasn't anything crazy or anything special that happened. It was just another project that rolled across my agent's desk, and basically he was like, hey bro, They want you to audition for Roy.
Yeah.
They wanted me to audition for other parts too. Charles, my brother, and the driver, Calvin. I knew that when I saw Roy, I was like, I want Roy. Yeah. There's no point in even me auditioning for anybody. And that took faith. Because obviously with a show this big, you want to give yourself more of a chance because, like, if I audition for 3 parts, I get me a better percentage to, like, book something. I said, no, I'm not auditioning for nothing. I want Roy. And I auditioned for it, like regular, and, it was a back and forth thing. They wanted me to come to LA. No, we don't. We got someone else. Nah, actually, put Julian back on the clock. Maybe we got someone else. It was back and forth. Blue balls type shit. Anxiety, stress. A lot of just like, I'm trying to meditate. I'm not trying to overthink in the process. But it's hard not to. And, but yeah, it was just kind of went like that. And then as time went on, finally, my agent got the call that I got it.
So for somebody watching this that wants to be where you are right now, what is the first step to getting in your position?
First step to getting my position?
Yeah.
So would you say like networking or?
See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't do all that, to be honest, to be completely transparent. I did a whole renovation in Bank of America. That's crazy. Anyways, it always goes back to this, and I know this sounds like it's not cliche, but it goes back to God. I'm telling you, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm trying to get better. I strive to get better every single day. I'm not a super religious. I'm more of a relationship guy, and just also a man of gratitude and a man that understands that, like, I don't have the power. None of us do. We're all limited beings, and at the end of the day, we have a finite amount of time on this earth. And I figured out when I was young, I was like, yo, we all just dust for real. So I need help. I need guidance. I need curation. I need someone to, help me, because this life is too difficult to do on your own. So I knew from a young age that God was the answer, and just having his guidance and his grace and mercy and just his covering over my life would be number one. I pray every day. And like I said, I'm not perfect, but I pray every day, and I'm very gratitude. And I'm full of gratitude, I should say. And that's numero uno, I would say. That's the first step. And then, because a lot of people just live my life without any spiritual guidance. Like, people ask me all the time, the acting, like, how do we, it's like, you got to be a great human first and get the foundation done first. A lot of people want to skip steps and just, like, go straight to, I'm trying to get in the room with you, bro. How is your mental? How is your energy? How is your frequency? How do you operate? You want to skip steps. You got to continue to be a better person first. And that's what I would say. So I would say God. I would say meditate. I'm a huge meditation guy. I believe that your mind has to be right in this world, especially now. The world we live in today is crazy, and it's very, very fickle, and you can get PTSD. People are dying. People are leaving this earth. There's so much stuff going on in the world. If your mind ain't right, you're going to lose yourself. So it has to start from within first. And then we can start talking about, okay, networking and doing this. So yeah, I would say pray and meditate, and then, like, get better at the craft. That's another thing too. Everyone wants to be famous quick. Oh, I want them followers. I want the money. You got to get better at this craft. This craft is nothing to be played with. This isn't music where you can just play, I'm putting on something on SoundCloud. Hopefully it blows up. And it can sometimes. You see a lot of rappers get big, make a song, whatever. But with this craft, especially when you want to do it right and do it officially, you got to get better at it. This is a craft that takes a lot of discipline. This is a craft that takes a lot of hard work. And it takes getting better at this craft every single day. And that's watching movies. That's studying the greats. That's going to class. That's, like I said, meditating and getting your mind right and being present and doing things that help you be present. And that's what I would say too. Just get better at the craft. Then I would say, like, go to networking events and meet people and get your headshots done and do all the basic acting shit, basically. But numero uno, number one, and get your mind right and your spirit right.
What was growing up like for you? Like, did you come from money, or like what your parents do, dual-parent household? What?
Yes. So, my childhood was pretty crazy. I ain't gonna lie too. It was, I had 4 siblings, and my pops left early, around like 6 or 5. He left, and he went through his own thing, as we know, fathers do. And my mom had to take the bulk of the responsibility for 5 kids. So, it was kind of tough growing up because we as siblings we saw a lot. We saw a lot of distress, a lot of crazy things you shouldn't see as kids. Mm-hmm. But we went through that. My mom did a lot. She had to, like I said, take care of 5 kids on her own once my pops left and stuff. And it was tough. We were living in apartments with 2 bedrooms, and me and my brothers all sharing a room, and my mom, my sisters, and them all sharing a room. And we didn't have money growing up. I went to GAC, Greater Atlanta Christian School. It's a private school. My mom had to do a lot of extra work, a lot of like cleaning the buildings and do a lot just to allow me to even go there because we didn't have money for the tuition and things of that nature. But they believed in me because they saw me as a good kid. I was good at sports growing up, and I kind of graduated, went to Arkansas. But they just, it was tough because like, bro, I would literally play football and go off in the game and be like the best player on the field. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards. And then I would have to clean the stadium after. My mom and my brothers. Yeah. Because that was a way of like, just like, us being allowed to go to the school because we didn't have the money like that. So, yeah, my childhood, man, it was but also, and the flip side, it was great as well because GAC, the school I went to, it allowed me to meet so many dope people, friends that I'm with, friends I'm still cool with to this day, brothers I call them, and they were rich. I didn't have no money, but they were rich. So I also got to live a dope life as well. It was like a double-edged sword because at home didn't have that much money, but my friends, because my mother put me in the position to go to GAC, I was allowed to be friends with. Because my best friend's Bo Abear, and his dad played for the Saints, played for the Falcons. So I was able to kind of take my mind away from what was going on at home because I had an escape with my friends and stuff at the same time. So I had a great childhood, but it was also rough. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why this Roy character is so dope because it's just the perplexities and complexities of life that he's gone through in the show. You know what I'm saying? So it allowed me to bring that to the character because I've had just experiences all over the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, childhood was rough at times, but it also was great at times. And I have a lot of great friends I'm still cool with to today, and I'm very thankful for that. But also a family, my family, I love my family to death, but we went through a lot of hard stuff too at the same time.
So in terms of you going through hardships, have you ever been like broke, like $0 to your name broke?
Yes. Negative, actually.
What was that like, and how did you even bounce back? Because some people go through moments like that, and it's just too much for them.
Yeah, man. I just put my head down and grinded, and went to a bunch of stores. Like, for example, I was so broke, I had no money to my name. But like I said, I also have friends that help me out too sometimes. That's why support is huge.
Support is huge.
Because at the same time, you're going to be, have bad days when you shit out of luck and you ain't got no money and you messed up. That's why the support is huge. That's why if I ever needed something, I can call my friend. Hey, man, let me borrow a couple dollars, man. But, and I've had to do that sometimes, for sure. And, but at the same time, I grinded, though, and did things that I didn't always want to do. So, going to work at Verizon, I got to work at a phone company. I was selling plasma. Like blood, plasma. I need them $70 now. Needed it, and I'm telling you, like, it's so crazy. Because no one's really asked this in the interview. This is new. Thank you for asking these questions. But it's like, yeah, I was doing things that I was just hustling, brother, hustling and grinding, and never having shame. Like, even after college, when I was broke after college, and I became a mover. I was moving pianos. And doing things I definitely didn't want to do. A lot of odd jobs. I worked at Hobby Lobby, but it's just like I was never ashamed. I've never been ashamed. Like, I played at the University of Arkansas. Now I'm working at Hobby Lobby because I'm out the NFL. I don't have no money no more. And at the end of the day, I'm sweeping and right where I used to go to college at. That's the same dude. That's Julian Horton. But I don't give a damn. I need the money. Exactly. So at the end of the day, it's just like I've always just been a grinder. I get it from my mom. She's always grinded. So I'm gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
So what knowledge would you give someone, like if they were trying to be an actor, that they will not learn unless someone that knows game shares it with them?
What knowledge would I give somebody?
That only an actor, like someone in the industry, could share.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I would just say, be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared, know your lines, and it always goes back to what I say, the meditation and prayer thing. I keep talking about that, but it's the spiritual and the mental thing, for sure. But I definitely would just say be prepared.
I kind of want to go back. You were talking about working at Hobby Lobby and Uber. Was there a moment where, on the other side of things, where you made a lot of money and you're like, whoa, like, I'll never have to do that again?
Yeah, a couple months ago. Yeah. No, but before that, though, I did this movie called Black Spartans. And it's basically how it went is this. I went to high school, graduated. I went to the University of Arkansas. And then after Arkansas, I went to NFL. Went to NFL for a little bit, for like 4 or 5 months. I didn't make the team. I played a little bit, preseason games. They caught me right before the season started. I played for the Titans for like 5 months. I got to go to the NFL. I got to go through the NFL experience, which I'm forever grateful for. You make a little bit of money. You don't make that much money. That money is gone in like a week. So now it's like starting from square one. Once football's over, what do you do now? So basically just I never really touched a lot of money until I did Black Spartans, because I was just doing jobs that like would just barely get you by. And that's what's crazy about the world today. Everyone's like doing jobs that barely just get them by. And it's tough out here. And I understand it. That's why I'm so grateful for just this opportunity that I got with Beauty and Black. But yeah, I did a movie called Black Spartans, and it was a lot of money. The most money I've ever touched, for damn sure. And yeah, and that was I was good for a minute until the strike hit. And then next thing you know, you're going through the savings, and next thing you know, you're back at square one. And then by the grace of God, Tyler Perry calls, and I don't have to worry again.
The rest is history.
Yeah, you still got to take care of your money, though.
Yeah.
But for the foreseeable future, I think we're good.
What's your advice for, saving money? Because a lot of people think if you're an actor and famous and known, that like you automatically just have a whole bunch of money.
Yes.
But the strike kind of showed that a lot of people didn't have as much money as outsiders thought. So what is your advice for saving your money or investing, or what do you do to
I'm
make
like
sure
the
you're
wrong ass I be spending, and I need to chill. Someone needs to give me advice. But if I really was gonna give advice, I would just say, what do I say? I like live life. I live my ass off. So it's like, I wish someone would tell me something. But nah, I would just say like, do the regular stuff. Yeah, get bonds, stocks, crypto. Yeah, ooh.
Don't
do
you,
the fun stuff. Yeah, we living over here.
That's okay, I'll tell you.
Don't you have family members in the industry, right?
Yeah, I do.
Donald
Faison, yeah.
Did he give you any gems, like navigating through the industry, or any advice on, being an actor?
No.
He's
never given me advice for real, but that's not his job to.
Yeah.
He's been famous for a long time and been making good money in this industry since the 90s, and I have mad respect for him. But yeah, me and Donald, we just keep it real, we keep it cool, you know what I'm saying? We really don't talk about acting that much, for sure, to be honest. And yeah, that's really just the honest answer, truth to that, But he supports me still and always, says congratulations and things of that nature. But yeah, we really don't even talk about acting like that. So it's really just out the muscle. I've just been doing this out the muscle.
So you've really been navigating like yourself.
Yeah.
Getting out the mud.
Yeah. Because you kind of like have to do that in this family. Like,
yeah.
My family's all about like tough love in a way. And it's like, yo, grind it out, figure it out. And that's kind of, where I come from. So I've always just been used to grinding it out. And the thing about it, I didn't ask Donald for nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't like, yo, Donald, you didn't give me a real nigga. No, I didn't do that. Like, I don't want to do that. I wanted to make it myself, like just like he did.
And it feels better, like, to know that you navigated.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like I said, it's really just me and God, and then my support system, my family, has allowed me to be in the position I'm in today.
Exactly.
And I wanted it to be that way because I wanted to be prideful enough to say, like, yo, I did it. And I didn't have to have no handouts doing it. I grinded to get to the spot. For sure.
You were talking about going to University of Arkansas, right?
Yes.
How much of an impact did college have in your career with what you're doing right now? And do you think that it was beneficial for you? Some people say that college, they usually don't do what they went to school for.
No, college was the most beneficial, I would say. That's where I learned life. Because it's like, and it goes back to the Roy character, just talking about what I did for this role. In college is where I experienced so many things. So that's when, like, the first time you're away from your parents. And you get to live and figure things out on your own. And so from football and the lessons learned there, just the hard work, the determination, the cliche shit. But it's just the truth, the toughness, the grit that football teaches you. That teaches you lessons that are invaluable like crazy. Then also living life, relationships, friendships, betrayal, craziness, wild shit happening in college. And I'm talking about so many different emotions I went through in college happened to me. So I would say it was huge for me because it taught me so many lessons of how to navigate relationships and to navigate life.
So more like life lessons than like book lessons.
Yeah. It wasn't book lessons. I couldn't tell you shit. But life lessons, because book lessons is weird because it's like college is a fickle thing too because it's like if you, I don't know, if you, I get if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or things of that nature. Because I will say this, for my acting career, I majored in communications, so I had to do a lot of public speaking. So that did help me, I will say. So when you're on set, you're in front of 70, 80 people watching you. So that public speaking, I will say, did help me because it allowed me to be trained to get over that anxiety and get over that fear of like talking in front of so many people. Because I know a lot of people, I can never be an actor. There's too many people watching me. Because it's a nerve-wracking thing. You got to be in an intimate setting with somebody. You got to have this scene, and it might be the most craziest stuff you have to do. And it's like 40 people watching you do it. And no one knows as a viewer what's going on behind the scenes. But it's like you have to come to the scene and go great with the scene and go great for your partner. And then you have to get over the fact that everyone's watching you too. So I definitely would say public speaking classes and like my major of communications did help a little bit with that. But other than that, it was more so just a lot of life lessons. Relationships, just, because we're young. You're going through it as a 22-year-old, as a 23-year-old, 21-year-old. Everyone's trying to figure it out. And there's a lot of things that you mess up on. You make a lot of mistakes because you're young. 21 is so young. It really is. I sometimes I like have regret, like, I can't believe I did that. But then
You were 21.
Yeah, like you'll go to a bar and be like 21-year-olds just around. Like, I was these idiots. So have grace for yourself, Julian, because you were young too, bro. So, but you are going through a lot of things in that time and learning a lot. And I would definitely just say the lessons just learned from life, being in college, is what I definitely learned from the most.
What's something that you've done, that you do now that you're successful, that you never did when you wasn't on? Like, that's part of your thing now.
Black trucks.
Black trucks, what is that?
Black trucks. Rolling in a black truck.
Like
arriving at like a chauffeur.
Like I used to be a stingy, like, I gotta get the cheapest Uber. And I'll take a Corolla, it didn't matter. Now I'll take a black truck to go to the grocery store. I'm spoiled. But the thing about it, that is the only thing that I splurge my money on. Because everything else, I keep it real, just low key. Like, I didn't go crazy and get a new car. I don't go crazy and I don't buy a lot of things. But I will say the black truck would be the kind of, that's the thing I spend money on. I will say that. Because it's so comfortable. It's like this. Like you know.
Convenient.
You don't want the stains and stuff. You don't want none of that. You want to just be chilling. And the sound systems are nice. And I make music. So yeah, black trucks.
you do like save most of your, like, you're not really into the super flashy things. Because I feel like once you've been like broke before and then you get money, a lot of people like to get the flashy things. So.
It is true. Like, see, let's go back to that question. I be living life so much I be forgetting I don't buy a lot of stuff. So maybe I am a guy to take advice from. Okay, so I would say a lot of times, this is my advice to somebody. You don't have, because my thing is this. Why do we get certain things? You have to go to the core of it, or why you're getting something. Do you truly like it, or are you trying to stunt? Do you truly like it, or are you trying to stunt? Maybe you might move on to do both. But at the end of the day, like for me, for example, I go to the gym, and that's really it. Why the hell am I going to get a new car to go to the gym? Just because I want to stunt sometimes and go out and like get a cyber. I mean, that's just how I think. So my thing is like, I've always been a person that has gone off my own spirit and gone off my own energy, and always known that's enough. And that's for relationships, that's for friendships. I'm enough.
Exactly.
So even when like diamonds, oh man, you started. This is moissanite. This is not real. Not real. But guess what? It doesn't matter. And if it has to be real, why would I mess with you? I don't want to mess with people that have to have like, man, nigga, you got it, man. You ain't gonna, no, because I'm gonna make you laugh. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna be around my people. Your energy's gonna be high. You're not thinking about no damn diamond chain.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, that's what I would say. It's like, stop trying to impress people so much and just live. And just be around people and that are like-minded, that share your same frequency, that operate on your frequency, and just have a good old time. That's what I would say. So actually, I do have advice. Yeah, that was my advice.
Good advice.
How is it finding like authentic people and building authentic relationships in entertainment?
How is it in entertainment? To be honest, it's kind of, with actors, it's easy. Because I think as actors, I think you have to have a certain level of substance, a certain wherewithal about yourself. And you have to know yourself as an actor. You're playing these characters that are going through a lot of emotions that you have to convey. And I think that it's kind of easy because we all like, it's like my tribe. I'm like every co-star that I have, every person that I've ever done a movie with, I'm still cool with to this day. It's not superficial, it's real, because you have to know yourself. So everyone's operating on the same frequency as me. So at the end of the day, it's kind of just, relationships are kind of easy to maintain.
And you kind of talked about being in touch with your emotions as an actor. I feel like as a man, it's kind of taboo to be in touch with your emotions and kind of like proud of your emotions. So how do you like go about life doing that as a man? Do you feel like, did you have to overcome anything to like finally be like, okay, I need to really sit with myself?
13 years old, I would say that's what it happened to me when I said, I'm going to stop giving a shit about any of this taboo, like you have to be this certain way, machismo, whatever that word is, that macho shit. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna be me. I've always known I'm a vulnerable kid, an emotional kid. I've always been that way. But at 13 years old, I like literally had a thought and made a decision like, yo, because I play AAU ball, right? And my mom had me in the inner city, in the urban, and it's like, they super cool, you know what I'm saying? People were super cool, and it really was kind of like taboo to like wear your emotions and convey your emotions and things of that nature. So I was trying to fit in with them. Like, I'm super cool, nigga. Yeah, nigga. And just be super cool and stuff. But that's not who I am for real. I'm me. I'm goofy. I'm animated. I don't give a shit. That's who I am. So I couldn't live in a cage in my mind trying to pretend to be someone else and not live with my emotions and be vulnerable and things of that nature. And that's the decision I made. So now as a man, my favorite thing in interviews to say is I don't give a shit. I really don't, though, because I don't care. Because it's just like, I find it that if you want to live a life that you're proud of, you got to be you. Completely. You got to be you. And a lot of times, the people that you're trying to like be afraid of, they don't even give a shit for real. So might as well just be you. And be vulnerable and not be scared to be in touch with your emotions. And I'm not. Like, I cry a lot. I'll watch movies and I start crying and shit.
That's me too.
Some of my friends, but they ain't crying. Yes. And I don't care. Because I don't. I really don't. I think it feels good to just be able to not live life restricted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live life restricted at all, and I won't.
As you shouldn't.
Because we got one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I live life? I have one life to live, and God's allowed me to have this time on earth, living restricted and confined to myself because of some damn labels that put on people. Like, yeah, you can't do that when you this and that. No, man, I'm gonna be me. And still, at the same time, I'm still a man. That's being a man, being you for real, and staying 10 toes down and having honor and respect for sure. But at the same time, not being scared to be vulnerable and being in touch with your emotions. And that's just who I am.
Speaking of being vulnerable and open with your feelings, is it hard dating, being famous and successful, or like how is it different from before when people didn't know you? Now that you have the status that you are, is it harder or easier, or like what is dating like to a celebrity?
What is dating like to a celebrity? I love these questions. I would say access. That's what I would say. And so I think that right now I'm not dating. I can't date.
Why?
Because I have a partner. You know, I have a whole freaking. You know, so it's like, you know, I just have to say that. So.
Well, do you feel like it's harder dating while being a known person?
If I was dating.
Yeah.
If I had to put that into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because I know the dating climate is crazy right now.
It's crazy.
Life is crazy, period, when it comes to all that. So I would say, from what I've seen, we're candid on this show, huh? I'm going to keep having things like this, and people are going to keep getting on me.
Oh, you got to speak your mind.
I know. It's just like, I
Safe
really want to say what I want to say.
No, it's a safe space.
Nah. It's like, man, damn. If I was, right?
Mm-hmm. If you were.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
I just don't see how it could happen, man. It's tough. It's very, very tough because as a guy who has access, and now you're going to get everyone's best behavior and their best. Oh, Julian. People might not even be that way. They just think, I just want to be chose by this nigga. Because, and now as a man, it's tough because there's a lot of options from men with access and men with influence or men who are celebrities. You have just you're going to have a lot of options, and that's why it's tough because now, especially being 33 years old, I think that, or any man that's like older and stuff, and even with women, the threshold is a little bit different now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because one small mistake, it's like you don't have the patience for a lot of mistakes now because time is moving forward. Mm-hmm. And women want to do things and want to have things done at a certain time maybe, or this, that, and the third. It's just, right now it's just crazy. I will say that. And it's just hard. That's all I will say about that. It's very tough.
Would you date someone in your industry or you prefer someone low-key if you were to
She's in the industry. The person I'm with, she's in the industry. Yeah, she's in the industry. But we're not talking about me though. Go on.
A long term, like, have y'all been dating for a long time, or?
Yeah, we have a whole, man. You don't even want to know. It's great. It's great.
I'm curious. Like, I want to know.
Cause like it's just like we're just. She's great. We've known each other for a long time, mm-hmm. and went to school together, and man, it's just been we have a dynamic that works for us. I will say that, and it's kind of I'm not getting into that too much, but we have a dynamic that works for us.
It's getting open, really.
No, it's not that.
No, like the more you say things, I'm like, I want to ask. It sounded.
Exactly, it really is. But you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. All I know is that it's hard out here. That's all I'm gonna say. It's tough. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, what's your ideal woman? Like, what characteristics would you look for in a woman?
See, I'm a simple man. Everything I do is simple. I really just need to, gotta be God-fearing. I've dated some girls, you know, who didn't, and that's just not gonna work for me. That's just me. You gotta have some type of just substance / humor. You know what I'm saying? And just saying, have a good time. Let's have a good time. Like, and that's it. No, I'm playing. There's
That's
more.
it?
No. Yeah, it really is simple. I'm not the type of guy that, you need to be cooking and I need my clothes. I don't care.
Really?
Yeah, I really just want to laugh. Have a good time. Let's just go have a good time and go vibe. I'm a simple guy. As long as the energy's there and just the, and obviously you want him to be just like a person of honor and, you know, just a good person. And that's simple. Who doesn't want a good person? But,
so you couldn't date like these traditional Instagram models? Or
No.
Girls that go out to the clubs all the time? Or?
No, that's not my cup of tea.
But you go to the club, don't you?
I know. But the thing is, I always like finding like the gym. When I was, you know, I could find the gym. GEM. So at the end of the day, that's who I rock with, for real. Because the traditional, the Instagram, it's just, I just feel like, and they're cool. They're cool.
They're cool.
They cool. They cool.
What, you getting wifey?
Tough for me. Because I think just like the energies and the necessities and the wants are usually different. And what they're focused on is different than what I'm focused on. That's why I usually have run into and seen. For me, I'm not saying that everyone's like that, but it's just like, yeah, that's really what it is for real. So I really couldn't. Yeah.
Do you believe in like duality of women? Like she could be at the club on Saturday, at church on Sunday, in the gym on Monday.
Yeah.
So if you met somebody in the club that like does do that kind of stuff, like
do what kind of stuff?
Like be going to work and church in the gym and like has stuff going on.
Yeah.
Would you still give her the time of day?
Yeah. I want people to live their life. I want people to have individuality. That's the word, individuality. I want people to have that. I want people to be able to feel like they're not in a prison when I'm in a relationship. I don't own nobody. We don't own nobody. People have to be happy with themselves first to be better in a relationship first. A lot of people think that a partner's supposed to make them happy. You're supposed to be happy first, then get in a relationship. So I would never want to take away someone's routine, take away their fun, or take away their style of living. As long as it's like, as long as it's positive and cool. But I don't have no problem with that. I want people to live.
Speaking of routines, everybody has this viral morning routine that everybody does, but I want to know what's your routine. Not so much in the morning, but what's your daily routine that keeps you on track? Like, what's your day-to-day like?
My day-to-day is really wake up. Right now, I'll tell you my day-to-day right now. I try to walk 5 miles a day. I do 5 miles a day. Like on a Monday today, I walk 5 miles a day. I go hoop around like 5.
In the morning?
No, 5 in the afternoon. But before that, though, I really just walk 5 miles a day, and I make beats. I'm a producer as well. So I make beats. I get straight to it. I pray, and then get to the beats, and then I probably walk 5 miles a day, then get to the gym at 5, and then hit the studio at night. And that's kind of my day.
So what kind of music do you create? Like R&B, rap?
Everything.
Everything? Oh.
Everything. And I got a whole tape on the way called Just for Fun. And I made the whole tape. I produced the whole thing. And my homeboy Tim, man on a mission, he's rapping on it. And I'm rapping on like 2 songs just to show like niggas I can rap.
I can do it.
Because I can rap. But I don't do it because it's like be chilling. I want other people to shine. I'll just produce and let the world see that I can produce as well. And that's coming soon. Y'all gotta come to the album release party.
Yes,
and it's gonna be lit. Y'all be like, okay, this is lit. He wasn't lying.
So what type of music you listen to right now? Who's like your favorite artist, or if you can give us an album that you've really been listening to recently, what you want? What
listen to right now? That's a good question. I'm trying to think. What have I been listening to? Because I've been doing this album for the last like 2 months, so I've just been working on this. But
what's your go-to genre?
I would say let's do rap. I would do rap. It'd be rap, R&B.
Are you a Drake type of guy?
Yeah, I like Drake. I think Drake's the best artist. He is the best artist.
So you better than Kendrick too? How you feel about that whole Drake Kendrick stuff?
think Drake. That's a good question. I think Kendrick's a better. Drake is. The reason why I like Drake is because he's versatile. Drake's versatile. Like, even when I hear the Nokia beat, right? Because I'm always hearing beats, and I'm always like trying to like, okay, what do they do here? What do they do here? You give that beat to anybody else, they're probably like, yeah, skip this shit, bro. What the fuck is this? The fact that Drake's mind and he's so cerebral when it comes to making music is what I love about him. The versatility of his music. Do I think he's better than Kendrick Lamar? I think they're just different. They're different. They give me different. I wouldn't say one's better than the other, but I do, because I love Kendrick too. Mm-hmm. Kendrick's my dog. I mean, I went to his concert last year. I think he makes great music, but I do believe Drake understands, he gets the people going for real though. A little bit better than, it's tough. They two goats for real, but I would say that I do like Drake's versatility and the way that he attacks beats and stuff. Because that Nokia beat is a weird ass beat.
Baby girl.
It's a weird beat. You really heard it, the synths on it, and just like, like people were like, man, turn this shit off, nigga.
That's how you know he's a musical genius.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So for him to go like, no, hold it. How many hoes in the club?
I just know they're about me in the studio.
And like people like, oh, that's kind of straight. He can do that. He be taking beats that you would never think and going crazy with it. But yeah, I would definitely say Kendrick won the battle. Mm-hmm. See, Kendrick was very strategic with the battle too. Because at the end of the day, both of them were rapping their ass off. Both of them, especially Drake on that what was the one called? It was like the second one he did, where it was like 7 minutes and the beat changed like 3 times. Oh, Family Matters. Went crazy. Especially the second part. The second part was insane. But Kendrick won because like Kendrick was rapping his ass off too. Euphoria was insane. But when he created Not Like Us though, I mean, that might be the biggest rap song ever. I'm not joking when I say that.
Ever?
I'm being dead ass serious.
Like 5 Grammys.
Like when we because I haven't talked about this. If we really talk about it, it might be one of the biggest rap songs. It's not one of it might be the biggest rap song ever, going down ever. I'm telling you. Cause what I think about, what rap songs bigger than Not Like Us?
I mean, I can name some, but if you like,
depends how you're measuring.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the Grammys.
The people's vote. Okay.
Everyone's heard it.
Then he performed at the
Super Bowl.
How you perform a diss at the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Well, you put it that way.
Super Bowl. It's gone international.
Yeah.
Soccer games. They're not like us. And then like it's gone international to a place that you don't see many rap songs go to. Everyone knows it. The white culture and Spanish, everyone knows Not Like Us. And then even when you hear the dun, 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 it's like it does something to shit. And it's you already in it. So I'm thinking like Kendrick, he won because of that, because he created such a monster of a hit that is timeless. And I think that really might be the biggest. I think it's going down as one of the biggest. I ain't seen nothing like it. It's still getting played to this day. And it came out last year. And it's getting played like it came out a month ago still, which is crazy. But yeah, to your question, but no, I'll just rant sometimes, keep talking. But to your question, I listen to a lot of old school too. So it's just like
old R&B.
Yeah, I like just listening to the 2000s and stuff too as well. I think a lot of the times now, like even with like I was listening to G Unit the other day, and listening to all their old songs and stuff, and 50 Cent. I love the 2000s. I love the 2000s time, because I think everyone had more of an identity than just originality when it comes to music. I think now, especially just with the 808s and the knocking 808s and just everything kind of sounds similar, but when back in the day, 2000s, everyone had a individualistic sound and a unique sound, and that's what I listen to more. I find myself listening to 2000s more. So it could be anything. It could be like, Lloyd, Get It Shawty. Listen to that. Listen to You. And when that time, when Wayne was reigning for real.
On every feature.
Yes. And like, yay. And Graduation and Late Registration. And so I listen to all types of like music, but most of the time it's like 2000s, I would say, type music.
Wait, so who's your favorite producer, or who do you think is the greatest producer? I think Kanye, but that's my.
The only reason this is the thing about Kanye. Kanye is one of the greatest producers ever, but Kanye really has never made a beat for real, as in like he just chops samples a lot.
He does. Okay.
So that's what every beat he kind of does, chop samples and things of that nature. So he's the greatest sample chopper ever. That's what I would say. But like when it comes to someone who like plays the keys and produces and does their own thing, that's a good question. There's so many good producers. I like Metro Boomin a lot.
I love Metro. I was gonna say that too.
I would say Metro. The reason why I like Metro because he does everything.
Yeah.
He samples, but he also plays. He also makes R&B. He does rap. He does everything. He does the Spider-Man soundtrack. So I would say Metro probably my favorite producer.
I feel like his beats are always spooky.
He's spooky, but they still knock though. They still knock.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has like a variety. I like people with versatility with their music. So I would definitely say Metro for sure. Yeah, Metro.
Are there any artists or producers that inspire you in the music that you make?
I would say Kanye. Kanye definitely does. I mean, it makes me want to go to listen to oldies and really like dive and get into the vinyls and chop samples. So I definitely would say him and Metro. Those are the people that really I want to like have a sound, because at the end of the day they're versatile, but they still have knocking ass beats and shit though. So I would definitely say Kanye and Metro. For sure.
Question: if you lost it all today, could you make it back? Could you bounce back?
Yes.
And what would you do to bounce back? What would be the thing that you would do to get you back on your feet? Like what career? What?
I would do what I'm doing now, brother. Let's keep hustling and keep doing the music what I'm doing and just continue to keep on acting. My thing was I knew I was always gonna make it. There's no doubt. There's never been a doubt in my mind. From when I was 4 years old, I told myself I'm gonna be one of the biggest in the world, and everyone's gonna know me. And I knew that before, and I wasn't gonna stop till I did it. And now that has happened, and if I lost it all, and if I did it once, I can do it again. Because that's how I would just keep on grinding and just like, because the talent is there, the confidence is there, the faith is there, and the hard work is there. So I would just do what I'm doing now.
Nice. What keeps you?
Sorry. I was going to ask, what is it that makes you so confident?
It's God, number one. I'll say that. And then I think that I have an uncanny ability to be myself and not care what people think. And I think also, I work on myself, I work out, and I keep my body right and try to look my best. So I think just a combination of just being myself and be unapologetically myself. I love that about myself. I really do love that about myself. I think that a lot of people really care a lot what other people think. I really don't give a shit. I really don't care. And I would say that's what keeps me confident, because I think that the real always wins. And if I keep being myself, keep going to God for guidance, keep looking good the best I can, keep working out, and keep doing what I can to be the best person I can be in all facets of the game, that's always going to keep me confident. Always. So it's just really just being myself and just working hard. For real, to be honest.
What keeps you like up at night in terms of like once people reach a certain amount of success, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Like what is like your passion or something that you're still working on outside of this success?
I would say the music. The music is, because my thing is this. Like I said, I wanted to do three things. It was going to be football, acting, music. I conquered football, I think. To do what I did, I got to play in the SEC. Like, that's
huge.
Besides NFL, it's the best football. I mean, Big Ten is good now too, obviously, but SEC football is the standard. The Eagles, I'm an Eagles fan. They got like 16 people from Alabama and Georgia, and they got other SEC guys, but they got 16 people from Alabama and Georgia together. That just shows you how dominant and how great the SEC is. I got to play in the SEC. I got to play in Athens at Sanford Stadium. I got to play in LSU, Death Valley. I got to play at Bryant-Denny in Alabama. Ole Miss, all these places that get so much attention, and these schools that get so much attention, I got to live and be a part of it. And I got to go to the league. I got to go to see an NFL locker room, be in the NFL meetings, and see how training camp was, and play with these dudes, and see that it's like, for me, it's all about just conquering things and doing things at a high level, and doing quality work. And I was able to do that by the grace of God in football. So then you go to acting. What do you want to do here, Julian? I want to be a star. I want to be on the biggest movies. I want to be on TV shows. And speaking of acting, that is where I started my acting career, right there. My acting school. Actors.
Yeah,
That's where I went.
in Atlanta, he said that he's the best.
Yeah, Nick's he's the great, man. I worked with a guy named Matt Scholar out of there. He was my acting coach, but that's where I started, right there. And it took me a while to even start because I was nervous to go there. I was like, oh shit, acting school. But it helped me though, and it allowed me to be around great people. It allowed me to meet people that were dope, and it allowed my acting to get better. But going back to the questions and stuff, and like keeping me up at night and stuff, but acting, I wanted to conquer acting too. So to be able to be in movies with J.K. Simmons, who's an Oscar Award winner, and to be with Stephan James, who was just in the piano lesson, and if Bill Street could talk, to be with certain guys that I've seen, Neil McDonough, who was in Black Spartans with me, Jay Alphonse, who plays Little Murda, and P Valley. To be with these guys, and then by the grace of God, be with Tyler Perry on Netflix, the biggest streaming service in the universe. I did it. So now, I'm going to keep going bigger with that and go crazy with that, but now there's something else I got to do now, and that's music. And now I want, people to see that, and I want to go crazy with that and go to the top with that as well and see how far I can go with that. Speaking of Arkansas, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
So Razorbacks, yeah. Yes, it is. An acting school in Arkansas, it's like, what the hell going on, God? This is crazy. So it's like, but now the music is what I'm really focused on. Obviously, still focusing on acting like crazy, and doing auditions and working on the next role, the next part. But now, since by the grace of God, I have the resources to do music, quality-wise is great now because you get to afford the studio, afford the mixing, afford the mastering, because that's what it takes. A lot of people are talented, ain't got no resources, ain't got no money. It's hard out here, you know what I'm saying? So now, with the ability to do that and the ability to pay for things and the ability to fund that, now I'm really focused on the music now and to see what I can do in the producing field and the music field. So that's what I'm really going hard on right now.
Well, I wanted to ask, what's a quote or mantra that has gotten you through your darkest moments?
I always say, God's yes greater than any man's no, every time. Once God got you, you're good. It really don't matter what any hater says, what any criticism says, what anybody says. As long as God got you and he says yes, and you tapped in, you straight. And that's what I would say for sure. That's my thing, for real.
From the outside looking in, if I didn't know nothing about being an actor and I saw you and was like, yo, I want to do that, what would be the first steps you would tell somebody who's just wants to do what you do, be on Netflix, and like, what are the first steps that you would advise them to do?
I would tell them the same thing that I did. Like I said, the God number one always is always, hey, you need to pray, nigga. That's number one. But number two, though, I would just tell them, like these kids came up to me the other day, like, yo, bro, I love this show, bro. Me and my brother, man, we want to be actors too. What you got any advice? I say, yeah, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. And I tell them all the time, it's like, bro, you got to get in acting class. You got to get better at this craft. That's what I would tell them. Get your 8x10 headshot. You got to get your headshots. Get Actors Access. Get your profile. Yeah. So Actors Access is a website, the database for all the auditions that go through there. So that everyone will have these. So basically, let's say like a project is about to be released, and you want to cast actors for it. Directors and casting directors go through Actors Access to put the project out. Now, your agent will submit their clients to that project. If the casting director likes to look, like to fit, they'll ask you to audition. And then you audition, and then most of the time it's a no. Then sometimes it's a yes. And that's how it usually goes. So I would always tell people to get their Actors Access right, get the 8x10 headshot. I did background work. I wanted to be formidable and really learn how this industry worked, how directors work, how actors work, how the PAs work, how everything was going on the set. That's why I did background work. So I would tell all actors, do background work. get a sense of how like everyday life is on set. Every single, just so you just know the frequency and the energy of set. You want to be familiar with this for real. And that's really it. And just getting better and just submitting and submitting and submitting. That's how I started my career, really. It just got on Actors Access. And when you don't have no agent, you got to submit yourself. And obviously, the bigger roles you can't really get like that because if you submit yourself. I mean, you can submit to them, but usually with the bigger roles, you have to have an agent, manager, all those things. But there's a ton of things filming all the time. There's a Savannah College Art and Design, SCAD, filming stuff all the time. There's people making short films. There's people making movies all the time that need actors. So I would tell people, hey, submit to all those things. Submit, because that's how I did my thing. I submitted to all these little roles that I ain't got no money for you, bro, but we can give you some tape. You be on tape. Like, yeah, let's do it. I don't need no money. Let's go. Let's get it. And that's what I did. And then next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. And, now we're here.
So do you think Actor Access is better than backstage?
Yes.
Oh, really? Why do you say that?
I just never have
success with backstage.
Yeah, Actors Access is always the official one, I would say. And that's nothing against backstage. I just never really used backstage like that. Actors Access.
So how many of those sites are there?
There's a couple.
What is the top one that you would say?
Actors Access #1, Backstage. They got another one called like the Casting Network or something like that. Those are like the three, but there's definitely more, I would assume. But Actors Access is definitely the official one, though, for sure.
So you're saying the formula is, number one, go to an acting school. Number two, sign up for Actors Access. Number three, get some background work or get some practice under you. No matter if it's paid or not, just get some practice. And then just start right there.
And get a headshot, 8 by 10.
8 by 10 headshots.
Yep, get nice headshots. Because then you're going to create a profile. Create your profile, boom, put your headshots on there.
So that's the starter kit, right?
That's a starter kit. Actor starter kit.
That's starter kit. Right there. And then, and then you got to look. Y'all like it, look, man, we want you to audition for this role, man. And you audition, and then hopefully you get it. And then you just got to keep on going from there. I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm just now seeing, and people have done it for longer. I mean, I'm still kind of young in the game, to be honest. There's people that have been acting for, my acting coach is acting for like 30 years, and it's just everyone's trajectories, everything's different. And I mean, by the grace of God, I'm so blessed to have gotten this role, because it's obviously, I'm like in the Maybach with y'all now. If I didn't get the role, I'd probably be working, doing some crazy shit right now. So it's like, it's all different, but like I said, the formula's always been there, the work's always been there, and just always trying to just have great energy and just putting myself in the mix of like being on set. Because networking things are cool too, for sure. And getting to know people, that's definitely good too as well. But like being on set is being on set. And you get to really learn just the remnants of everything that goes on set. So I would definitely say that for sure.
I have a question about that. So when you're doing like background work, or when you did do it, were you just observing, or were you like trying to meet like people to network? Or?
I would usually observe and chill, but usually and do what I was asked to do, obviously, and things of that nature. But a lot of the times, to be honest, just by being focused and being just like vigilant, not off basically, and really just focusing on like doing the best job I can be, I got moved up a lot to like featured extra a lot of the times. I did Flo Millie's video one time, and I was supposed to be just a guy who was just there, and they were like, no, like, look, you're gonna be the main lead. I said, for real?
Which video?
In the party.
Oh, okay.
So the background work you did was like other things too, not just TV and film.
I did,
so you did music videos?
Did music videos too.
What
Did
music
Lotto's.
Flo
I did Flo Milli and Lotto's. It
What
was
song
Saucy
Lotto?
Santana.
What's on with Lotto?
It's like Saucy Santana and Lotto. This was like years ago. Lotto was not as big as she is now, but this is like years ago, and I'm just a guy who went to the strip club. And it was cool time. Yeah, but for me, it was dope because, and it was still crazy. This before that, and it's crazy because that video has like 40 million views on YouTube now, but that's before she was as big as she was. She only had like 100K followers. She has 1 million followers now. And that was like six years ago. And that's what I'm saying. Just keep grinding, keep grinding.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, I would definitely say all that though. Like, background work is key for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Julian Horton, for coming.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Where can the people find you at? Give us your socials.
Julian Horton 12, and that's across all socials.
All socials.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Julian Horton, the number 12. So that's where you can find me at. Yes, God bless.